So students, in the previous class in this chapter, that is life processes, we were talking about the transport. Means how transport occur in that of the human being. And you know that the transport system, it means transportation of a substance that can be enzyme, that can be food, that can be of the cells, that is red blood cells or white blood cells, hormones. These all are actually transported with the help of the blood. So we can say here that blood plays a very important role in transportation. Just because of the blood only, the things can be transported from one place to another. Now we have seen that we have understood the composition of the blood, and basically if you look at the composition of the blood, student, you will find that blood is mainly classified or it is categorized into four, and that is what a plasma is there, which is what we can say it is a composition of the blood, student. Then the second one is the RBC, which we call as a red blood cells. Then the third one is the WBC, which we call as a white blood cell. And finally, platelets are also the part of the blood. Okay. Now, if you look at the plasma, student, you will find that plasma is what it is, a colorless liquid in which all the other cells used to float, which include the RBC, which include the WBC, as well as the platelets. So we can say that plasma is responsible for carrying all these cells in it. Now, not only this, student, but the other dissolved material, the salts, the minerals, including the food, digested food, the hormones, everything used to float with the help of the plasma. Second one is the RBCs, students, which we call as a red blood cells, and the reason for calling it the red blood cells, that it is red in color, and it is because of a pigment, that is hemoglobin, present in it, is responsible for giving color to it. Okay, so we can say here that hemoglobin is there, that not only help in providing the red color, but it is also responsible for combining with that of the oxygen, and ultimately there is a formation of a oxyhemoglobin, which will be carried to each and every part of the cell. Now this oxygen, we can say here that the RBC is responsible for carrying the oxygen to the cell so that the oxidation process can occur inside the cell. Third one is the students, that is WBC, which we call as a white blood cells. The reason of calling it the white blood cell, because it is not red in color. Now, actually the role of the WBC is really very important. Although if you look at the number, the count of that of the RBC to WBC, you will find that RBCs that occur in a millions, and as compared to that, it will be lesser. WBC is less in count than that of the red blood cells. Now, the WBC, students, you will find that it is called as the soldiers. Why? Because it helps in protecting us from the disease which can attack and causes harm to us. So it helps in engulfing the germs, it helps in eating the germs, as well as it will also help in producing the antibodies, and these antibodies, you know that they are helpful in targeting that of the particular disease germs and help in killing it. So ultimately it will help us in protecting the disease that can occur through the microbes, okay, through the foreign antigens. WBC, students, you will find that it is less in a number, and this plays a very important role, and because of that we used to call them as the soldiers. Now moving on, and we will see the fourth one, and that is platelets. What is the role of a platelets? Basically it helps in the coagulation of the blood, or we can say it helps in the clotting of the blood. So when a person gets cut or wound, at that time this platelets become active and start forming a fiber-like a structure and help in clotting that of the blood. So the blood ultimately, while coming out, it will become semi-solid and clot. Okay, it will form a leg due to which the bleeding stops. So it plays also very important role, platelets. So these are the composition of the blood, what are the things which is present in the blood, and what are their function, how they plays a major role in our body. If you look at the function, student, by this, all the different types of a component we have understood. The first thing that it helps in carrying the hormones, it helps in carrying the digested food, it helps in carrying the enzymes, as well as it helps in removing the urea and the other waste material, including the carbon dioxide from the body. It helps in protecting the body through that of the antigen, which can harm us. It helps in carrying the oxygen to the different part of the body so that the oxidation process can occur. As well as it helps in clotting the blood, which can, if it is not there, if the clotting of the blood does not occur in the body, then what will happen? That person may die because of the because of the major fall of that of the blood. Okay. So these are what, student, these are some of the functions of the blood. Moving on, and we will see the very important one. Okay, this blood is there which helps in carrying all these things. But this is the blood which is actually helping in forming that of the circulatory system, which we call as a human circulatory system. So let us start with the human circulatory system. Although it includes a lot of things, students, let me tell you each and everything. So first of all, when we talk about the human circulatory system, it is what? It is a system. Whenever we talk about a system, actually it is related to a organ system. You know that the development happens, student, from the cell to tissue, tissue to organ to organ system, and finally an organism. So this is also an organ system. Organ system, it means it includes some different types of organ. So let us write it that what are the various organs are there. Human circulatory system are, the first one is, that is heart. Obviously everything is pumped out through the heart, so this is the main organ. Then it includes arteries, then veins are there, then capillaries. Okay, arteries, veins, capillaries and blood. So basically why we are including the blood in all these things, student? Because these help in pumping the blood, these help in carrying that of the blood. So we can say that arteries, veins and capillaries are what? These are the blood vessels which come out through the heart, or which goes in that of the heart and used to carry the blood inside it. Now let us start to understand the human circulatory system. So what is the role of a heart, student? So heart acts as a pump to push out blood. Then here I will include another thing. The vessels carries the blood are called blood vessels. So if you see arteries, if you see veins and that of the capillaries, these are actually the blood vessels and their role is to carry the blood. Heart is what? It's a kind of a pump to push out the blood to the different part of the body or that of the lungs. Okay. Now let us try to understand the heart, students. Okay. Then we will going to understand the artery. Means what is the structure of the heart, what are the parts included in that of the heart, and what is their role. So first of all, we will try to understand the structure, then we will move to the function. So I will write each and everything in the points. So the first point that we will include here, that heart is what? It is a roughly triangular in shape. It is roughly triangular in shape. The second thing, students, that it is at the size of our fist, clenched fist. Okay. So we can write here that the size of the heart is about clenched fist. The size of the heart is about our clenched fist. Then, when you look at the heart, student, you will find that it is basically divided into 4 chambers. Upper 2 chambers are there and lower 2 chambers are there. So, divided into 4 chambered. So, it is divided into 4 chambered. Okay? 4 chambered. The upper 2 chamber is called as atria or auricles. Okay? It means singular it is called as atrium. Plural because it is 2, so we will call this atria. Okay? So, the upper 2 chamber of the heart, upper 2 chambered of the heart is, upper 2 chamber of the heart is, so the upper 2 chamber of the heart is called atria. That is called as the atria. Singular it is called as atrium. So actually it is we can say that there is a right atrium is there, student, and left atrium is also there. Now the lower 2 chamber is called as ventricles. The lower 2 chambered is called ventricles. That is called as a ventricles. It means there is a right ventricle is there and left ventricle is also present. Now, if you look at the chamber, student, you will find that the left atrium is connected to that of the left ventricle through a valve, and the same thing with that of the right auricle is right auricle or right atrium is connected to that of the right ventricle through a valve. Okay, so both of them are connected to each other through the valves, and the function of the valve, student, that is it helps or it prevents the backflow of the blood when the arteries when the atria contract. Okay, now not only this, the 2 atrium, right and that of the left, they used to receive the blood through 2 main veins. While that of the role of the ventricle, that it helped in pushing the blood, it helped in transporting the blood or pumping that of the blood throughout the body, outside to that of the heart. So, the 2 atria receives blood through two main veins. Next one, the role of the ventricle, student. So the ventricles transport blood outside the heart. Outside the heart means what? Either it transport to the entire body or to the lungs. Outside the heart. Okay. So this is the thing which happens in that of the atria. Let me write here to one more thing, that is both of the atria and the ventricles, they are connected to each other with the valve. Okay. So both the atria, it is connected to the ventricle through valves. Now do not get confused with this. What does I mean? It means that the left one is connected to the left ventricle through a valve. Suppose this valve is V1, so we will use a V1, and the right atrium is connected to the right ventricle through another wall. Actually, it is a tricuspid and bicuspid walls are there through which it is connected with. Okay, so we do not have to go through the name of the valves. We simply have to understand that right atrium is connected to the right ventricle through a valve, and the left atrium is connected to the left ventricle through a valve. So that is why I have written that both the atria is connected to both the ventricles through valves here. Okay. Now, what is the role of a valve? Why is it there? So basically, it is really important to understand, student, that what is the role of the valve here. So valves helps in preventing, valves prevents the backflow of blood, backflow of blood into atria when ventricles contract. Okay, valves prevent the backflow of blood into atria when the ventricles used to contract. Okay, so this is what is the role of that of the valve here, students. Now the thing that we have to understand here, that we are supposed to saying that they are actually differentiated, means they are separated. The right portion of the heart is separated from the other. So it is basically divided into two. So there is a partition wall that we call as a septum is present in it, which help in dividing the heart. So we can say here that both of the part of the heart is separated through a partition wall that is called as septum. The chamber of the heart are separated through a wall called septum. Okay, so the chamber of the heart are separated through a wall that is called as a septum here, student. Now let us try to understand the blood vessels which is present in that of the heart. Then we will try to understand that how the circulation happen in the heart. So the first one is the arteries, students. I am writing the arteries because we are not talking about a single artery. We are talking about the whole. It means arteries. So what is the role of the arteries, student? Basically it is a thick walled blood vessels. Thick walled blood vessels. And what is its role? Its role is to carry the blood from the heart to all the part of the plant. Heart to all the part of the body. Sorry, yeah? To all the part of the body. So its role is that it helps in carrying the blood to all the part of the body, and it is thick wall. So since it is carrying the blood, to every part, so here it is having the high pressure. Okay, and because of the high pressure only, the wall is thick wall. Okay, so we can write it here that it is having thick wall because it is having thick wall because the blood is emerging out from the vessel, thus having high pressure. So since it is emerges out with a very high pressure, so the wall of the arteries is a thick wall. Compared to that of the veins, you will find that it is thin wall blood vessel, and the reason again, since it is having very less pressure. And what is the role of the veins here, students? That is, let us write here about the vein. So role of the veins, let us discuss the role of the veins. Although student, I told you that it used to carry the blood from that of the heart to all the part of the body. So here it is not necessary that it only carry the oxygenated blood. It used to carry the deoxygenated blood also, and at that time it used to carry the deoxygenated blood from the heart to the lungs. Okay, and that we call as a pulmonary artery. I'll discuss about all these things when we will start to understand the functions. Now let us see the another vessel, and that is veins. So what are the veins, students? Thin walled blood vessels. Thin walled blood vessels. Thin walled blood vessels. What is this role? Which carries blood from all the part of the body to the heart. So basically it is thin wall, and the reason that since it is carrying the blood from that of the different part of the body to the heart, so it is moving with a very low pressure, and that is why it is having thin wall vessel. Okay, so it helps in carrying the blood from all the part of the heart. Now there is another vein is there, students, that we call as a pulmonary vein, and it basically used to carry again it used to carry the oxygenated blood from that of the lungs to the heart. But we can understand here the blood vessel which enter into that of the heart from any part of the body, that we call as a vein. Now with that, there is another thing that we call as capillaries. What is there in the capillaries, students? Thin walled and extremely narrow tubes. Through which connect arteries to veins. What does that mean, student, you see here it is thin wall, extremely narrow tube is there, and what you will find here that the tubes are help in connecting that of the arteries to that of the veins. Actually, capillaries are a one cell thick, student, so they are completely, we can say they are extremely thin wall and a narrow tube is there. Ultimately, what happened are the places where the exchange of the gases, exchange of the material happens inside that of the cell. It is the capillary through which the process of the diffusion can take place. You can see that the digested food, we see that the blood used to carry the hormones, blood used to carry the urea, blood used to carry the other dissolved state in it. So when it reaches to that target place, how the exchange of the gases take place? So it is actually with the help of the capillaries, the exchange of the gases, exchange of the material can occur. So we can write here that as it is really important to understand the capillaries, because you have seen even when we were talking about in the respiratory system, we have seen in the alveoli also the exchange of the material happens with that of the capillaries. So the exchange of the various materials, like oxygen, food, carbon dioxide, etc. It will include a lot of things, students. Between the blood and the body cells, takes place through capillaries. So we can say here that the exchange of the various material, it can be anything that can happen with the help of the capillaries, students. So capillaries is present throughout the body. It is, since it is one cell thick, so the diffusion of these things can happen very easily. I told you about that of the arteries and the veins, students, that yes, it does not mean that it is thin wall or thick wall, so it will carry that of the blood from the heart to the body or from the body to the heart. Here it is not mentioned that whether it is carrying the oxygenated or that of the deoxygenated blood. Now let me write here a few things about the heart. That is, heart used to pump blood continuously. Heart used to continuous it is a double pump. So heart is a double pump. And when we say that it is having a partition wall, that is septum, why it is important, students? So we can write here that the right side is separated from the right side of the heart, right side of the heart the mixing of blood, mixing of oxygenated and deoxygenated. So this is all about the structure and the different parts which is present in the heart. Now we will going to study about the function, means how it usually work, what happen actually in the circulation.